Shakespeare! So to answer the 6 questions asked, are women presented as lesser and inferior to men? Yes, they are. Women do occupy, socially and economically, a different position than men, and when they are equal, the results are disastrous. Women are presented as irrational and creatures of passion. Women are presented as immoral, devoid of human values, evil, and as negative stereotypes. Shakespearean tragedies absolutely reinforce patriarchy. Women are not presented as fully developed human beings who can decide about their own lives. Feminism, which, really wasn't such a big thing in the 16th century. Didn't I just say 16th century? Jolly old England. Because even now, 5 centuries later, half of the world's population still struggles, at best, with some not-so-nice stereotypes, and at worst, for basic human rights. In the Pakistan Journal of Commerce and Social Sciences, M. Ayub Jaja explores 6 questions in relation to Shakespeare's tragedies and feminism. These 6 questions about women are as thus. 1. Are women presented as lesser and inferior to men? 2. Do women occupy, socially and economically, an equal position with men? 3. Are women presented as irrational and creatures of passion? 4. Are women presented as immoral, devoid of human values, evil, and as negative stereotypes? 5. Do Shakespearean tragedies reinforce or undermine patriarchy? And finally, are women presented as fully developed human beings who can decide about their own lives? Hamlet. Ophelia and Gertrude are the only female characters in Hamlet. Ophelia is presented as helpless, and her goodness comes only from her unending obedience to her father and brother. An obedience which would, of course, one day be given her husband. Gertrude, on the other hand, is the faithless and disloyal wife, a widow who remarries within days of the death of her husband. King Lear. The main female characters in King Lear are Cordelia, Regan, and Goneril. Cordelia, much like Ophelia, is the ever-obedient daughter. She has no say in her life. She has no say in her marriage. She is her father's to do with as he will. Her sisters, Regan and Goneril, are portrayed as monsters. They're lying, they're cruel, they're greedy, and they're hypocritical. Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet, ever the ill-fated lovers. However, a deeper reading of the text shows that the couple met their demise more from the tenets of patriarchy than from ill fate. Lord Capulet wishes his daughter Juliet to marry Lord Paris, but as we all know, Juliet had other things in mind. To quote Jaja, the reluctance to obey earns Juliet the titles of headstrong, fool, mistress minion, baggage, a curse, disobedient wretch, a wretched, puling fool, a whining mammet. Macbeth. The first 3 female characters portrayed in Macbeth are witches. The fourth female character, Lady Macbeth, is the fourth witch. When her husband tells her that he doesn't wish to murder Duncan, she chides him and attacks his manhood, forcing his hand. Antony and Cleopatra. Cleopatra, a queen, right? Finally, a woman in power. Except that Cleopatra is labeled as an enchantress and kind of portrayed as a faithless whore. The subtext here is that when women are in power, the results are disastrous. So to answer the 6 questions asked, are women presented as lesser and inferior to men? Yes, they are. Women do occupy, socially and economically, a different position than men, and when they are equal, the results are disastrous. Women are presented as irrational and creatures of passion. Women are presented as immoral, devoid of human values, evil, and as negative stereotypes. Shakespearean tragedies absolutely reinforce patriarchy. Women are not presented as fully developed human beings who can decide about their own lives. But this was written 5 centuries ago, right? Can't possibly have any bearing on how we think today. Except that today there are many, many retellings and adaptations of Shakespeare and his tragedies. Just to name a few, there's the movie Strange Brew, The Lion King, and the very popular show Sons of Anarchy, which are all retellings of Hamlet. There's West Side Story, and the movie Warm Bodies, which are retellings of Romeo and Juliet. The 2 movies A Thousand Acres and My Kingdom are retellings of King Lear. And the 2001 movie Scotland, PA is a retelling of Macbeth. Frailty, thy name is woman. Oh, please.